flicker in the digital glow, a pulse of light where ideas flow, scent rising crisp like morning dew, welcoming listeners to something new.
So the music industry. It's no stranger to disruption, is it? But the introduction of artificial intelligence is something entirely different. I mean, platforms like Suno and Udio are literally creating songs from scratch based on text inputs. Text inputs. You just type that you want, say, a soulful ballad or a high-energy pop anthem, and voila, music appears. It's groundbreaking.
Right? Groundbreaking? Or terrifying. Like, imagine typing, "I want a world-changing hit that makes me rich." And poof, it does it. Do you think this is going to make every high school kid with ChatGPT dreams of being the new Ed Sheeran?
Well, yes and no. The technology behind these platforms is quite advanced. Udio, for instance, lets users create music across all kinds of genres and incorporates realistic-sounding vocals and instruments. And it's backed by some heavyweights. Venture capitalists will.i.am, Common. The potential for creative democratization is immense.
Democratization. Fancy word, Eric. But come on, didn't both Suno and Udio just get slammed with some major lawsuits?
Ah, yes, the copyright wars. Record labels like Universal Music Group, Sony, and Warner have accused these platforms of essentially training their AI on copyrighted material. The claim is that they've copied existing songs to the point where the outputs resemble protected works. Damages? Up to $150,000 per song. And Liam, these lawsuits...
Can we just pause there for a sec? 150 grand per song? So we're saying forget investing in AI. These platforms might go bankrupt before they even hit their stride.
Indeed, that's a real possibility. It highlights this escalating clash between innovation and intellectual property rights. On the one hand, the tech industry argues this is all in the name of progress, but on the other, artists and labels see it as outright theft, and that's why these lawsuits are so pivotal.
Yeah, pivotal for lawyers. But seriously, where do we draw the line with AI copying stuff? Like, okay, if a robot rips off the Beatles, should it be treated like a cover band or a criminal mastermind?
That's where the question of artistic integrity comes into play. Some argue that AI could inspire new levels of creativity, acting as a collaborative partner rather than a replacement. But others, including the likes of Björn Ulvaeus from ABBA, are deeply concerned. He's been vocal about the need for tighter regulations to ensure artists are fairly compensated.
Yeah, he's probably thinking, leave my royalties alone. But you know, Eric, there's also the question of authenticity in all this. If it's a machine making the music, does it mean anything to us? Like, where's the soul?
And isn't that the crux of it? Music, at its core, is so deeply personal and human. While AI can mimic that, some believe it will never quite replicate it. Yet others say we're too stuck in old paradigms. And maybe AI-driven innovation could broaden what we consider creativity. The debate is far from settled.
Far from settled. Sounds like a polite way of saying, this is just the beginning of the chaos.
Perhaps. But whether chaos or progress, AI is becoming deeply embedded in the fabric of music. The question now isn't if we need regulations, it's who holds the power to shape this new era. Speaking of shaping this new era, Liam, here's a sobering statistic. A report from SciSac, the International Confederation of Societies of Authors and Composers, suggests AI could reduce global music revenues by over 20% in the next few years. That's a staggering figure, don't you think?
Sobering is one word. I'd go with terrifying, like, talk about a bad forecast. What's next? Rain clouds over every Grammy ceremony?
Well, the concern is that AI-generated content competes directly with music created by humans, often without proper authorization. It's a classic case of innovation colliding with existing revenue systems. The result? Artists lose out.
Okay, but let's be real for a second. If even big stars are losing money, what chance does an indie artist have? Could this AI thing just steamroll smaller creators entirely?
That's where the tools from platforms like DistroKid come in. Now, they're not creating music, but enhancing how independent artists distribute theirs. For example, they've integrated AI features like automatic mastering to improve audio quality and analytics to help artists target their audience more effectively.
Ah, yes, the analytics buzzword. Nothing says we care about creativity like telling artists, your beats tanked in Kentucky last quarter.
Ha, I see your point. But in fairness, those insights can empower musicians, helping them strategize and reach broader audiences. It's a way for indie creators to level the playing field.
Or convince them they're failing faster. I mean, come on, what's next? An AI assistant that says, hey, your genre's dead. Try techno polka instead. It's trending in Norway.
Quite possibly. But for many, those tools represent an opportunity. They're not trying to replace artists. They're supplementing them with resources traditionally reserved for larger labels. The real debate is whether this kind of technological aid promotes creativity or, as some argue, exploits it.
Yeah, opportunity for some, but isn't it just more pressure? Like, congrats. You saved on mastering. Now figure out how to beat an algorithm pumping out 20 tracks a minute.
And that's the dichotomy, isn't it? On one hand, AI democratizes access. On the other, it shifts the market into overdrive. For struggling indie artists, navigating that landscape isn't easy. It's a constant balancing act between leveraging these tools and staying true to their art.
It's like giving them a bigger playbook, while also telling them the game just got twice as fast. Great.
Precisely. And that's why this debate isn't purely about technology. It's about sustainability for creators. Without a fair system, we risk losing the diversity that makes music so rich in the first place. And speaking of balancing innovation with creativity, let's shift gears to K-pop, probably one of the most tech-savvy music genres out there. Did you know it's at the forefront of leveraging AI?
Oh, absolutely. If anyone's going to embrace AI with open arms, it's the K-pop world. I mean, digital idols, AI-generated music. It's like a sci-fi movie, but with synchronized dance moves.
Exactly. Companies like Supertone are creating digital versions of artists, allowing for things like multilingual songs and even augmented live performances. It's about deepening fan engagement. And honestly, who does fan engagement better than K-pop?
No one. Seriously, no one. You've got fans buying AI-enhanced hologram tickets just so they can wave glow sticks at a digital artist. That's next-level commitment.
It is, and it taps into this idea of AI enhancing creativity rather than replacing it. Think interactive performances where artists, both human and digital, collaborate seamlessly. It's an entirely different way to push the boundaries of what's possible.
Right? So instead of robots stealing our jobs, they're stealing the stage. And honestly, doing a pretty good job of it. But Eric, the million-dollar question here, do you think it's creativity or just a glorified tech demo?
Good question. And I think the answer lies somewhere in the middle. AI can't replicate the emotional depth of human expression, but it can amplify the creative tools at our disposal. It's not a zero-sum game, or at least it doesn't have to be.
Doesn't have to be. But there's always the risk, isn't there? Like, what's stopping this whole digital idol trend from just phasing out humans completely? Fans will be like, why bother with actual people when their AI version doesn't cancel concerts or mess up dance routines?
That's a fair point. And it circles back to the importance of regulation. Industry leaders like Björn Ulvaeus are advocating for clear guidelines that protect human creators. It's about ensuring AI serves as a tool, not a replacement, and that creators are compensated fairly.
So basically, we need rules to keep robots from hogging all the applause. Got it. But Eric, you know as well as I do, regulations move at the speed of, well, government. Meanwhile, AI's out here sprinting like Usain Bolt.
True enough, and that's where vigilance from the creative community comes in. K-pop's use of AI, for example, represents a model where humans and technology coexist. It's proof that we can push boundaries without losing the soul of the art.
Coexistence. Nice word, Eric. So is that your big takeaway? AI and humanity holding hands, singing Kumbaya?
Something like that. AI has immense potential, but it's up to us to decide how we use it. The music scene has always thrived on human expression, and as long as we prioritize that, there's room for everyone, even the machines.
And on that cheerful, slightly dystopian note, we're done. Thanks for tuning in, folks. It's been a wild ride.
Yes, and don't forget, the future of music is unfolding before us. Stay curious, and as always, thanks for listening. Until next time.
Circuits hum a soft goodbye, beats descending like stars in the sky. Gentle tones signal it's time to part, a loop of tech for a brand new start.